When Ruby stops drawing on white claws with a pencil, check out this interview with my buddy and head chef Anthony Vitolo of Emilio's Ballato in New York City.
Check him out on Instagram as well. What a page. What a guy.
Find out who he wants to cook for. He's cooked for almost every celebrity, but find out who he really wants to cook for, who he hasn't yet.
And find out what it's like cooking with the Secret Service checking you out.
Hope
You gotta listen to find out.
Where are you from originally? Are you from Wanto, or did you grow up in the city?
So I grew up right around the corner from the restaurant in New York. I moved here. Remember we were on the same baseball team?
Oh,
when
yeah,
we were
of course.
Like 8 or 9 years. Well, how old were we? 9?
We were young, yeah. We were little kids.
Maybe 9 or 10. That's when I first moved in. So I originally grew up around the corner on Spring Street, right around the corner from the restaurant.
Wow.
Do you remember much of that move, Anthony? How was that transition from the city to the suburbs?
It was a completely different. It was good though. I got into football. I got into a lot of sports. In the city, you really don't see anyone playing football. Mm-hmm. Usually, that's more of like Long Island or lacrosse or wrestling. City, you literally are just hanging out. I know on the streets. So it's a lot different. But the neighborhood changed a lot. Now Soho is insane, expensive, and that's where I grew up. And growing up there, it wasn't like that at all.
Wow. What is one of your first memories of Ballato? Because it's a family business, so you've been there forever.
Well, since I was a little kid, my bus stop was across the street. Mm-hmm. So I would literally get dropped off at the restaurant and wait for my father to get off of work because my mother worked as well. So he would watch me, and I would just be in the restaurant looking at the chef at the time, my father, and he was just doing multiple things, and I would just want to be alongside him. So just watching and seeing him doing what he did back then, I learned and grew a passion for it.
For sure.
Because that's how we showed our love through our food.
Yeah. When did your dad take it over? Because there was some prior owners, right? Something like that?
Yeah. So it's been the restaurant's originally there since 1956. Everyone confuses it. They think Ballato is my last name.
Yeah.
Ballato is the previous owner. His name was John Ballato. He opened it up back in the day in 1956. So my father took it from him in 32 years he's had it so far. So you guys do the math.
Yeah, that's a good run. Most guys don't make it 3 years or 10 years. So
and especially in New York City because it's the most competitive. Think about how many restaurants you have on one block in New York.
Exactly. Where is it located exactly for anyone if they're watching? They want to look it up.
Right on House Street between Mott and Mulberry. It's called Nolita. The area is called Nolita now, but it's basically Soho.
Yeah.
And Little Italy. It's all the area of Little Italy shrunk so much.
Yeah.
And it's not the same. Everything is getting taken over. Everyone's going out of business. So it's really special to have a mom and pop shop in that area. Mm-hmm. So we just got to keep it alive,
Yeah, I think you will. And your dad came over from Italy, right?
Yeah, my dad's originally from Naples, from Sarno.
Nice.
He came here when he was seven years old.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yep. We were talking about that before, how weird it is that families were just like, all right, pack up your stuff. We're going to America.
And it's so crazy because, as us, as kind of privileged kids, stepping into our father's businesses, but people don't realize how much hard work it took for them to build something off the ground.
Yeah.
It's crazy, especially in the restaurant and bar industry. As you know, there's so much competition.
Yeah.
So you really have to give them credit, that generation. My father came from Italy with nothing, not even a pair of shoes on his feet.
Wow.
And he built a legacy. And, I'm just taking that to the next level now.
Yeah.
Do you visit a lot, Anthony?
Tim,
Do you, I've obviously know you've been to Italy. Do you make that like an annual thing? Do you go there a lot? Does your dad still spend time in the homeland?
Yeah, so my father loves Italy. We still have our house where he grew up.
Wow.
But in Italy, it's kind of crazy. Once you let people stay in your house for a little while, they take it over. So now we're in the process of trying to get our house back, which is kind of insane. But yeah, it's basically like a squatter's right in Italy. I don't really know the rules. My father would know better. But yeah, he goes back. He hasn't been back in like 2 or 3 years, but he usually goes back at least twice a year.
Nice.
You got to bring some muscle with him next time.
Yeah.
I seen you hitting the pads. You could get rid of those people.
Exactly.
So, is working for the family business something you always had planned, or like after school, did you try to do other stuff and you came back to it? How'd
Yeah,
that go?
I mean, so I went to college. I went to Hofstra University just because,
Go
I
Brides.
wanted to show my dad that I could do stuff on my own.
Mhm.
So I got my degree in exercise science. Um, and I did that for a while. I did a physical therapy as well. Um, it just wasn't my passion. I
Yeah.
always knew. I just realized at cooking at parties, for everyone, it was just my passion, making people help, you know, showing people love through my food. Any time we'd be at a party, it'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd be cooking for all our drunk friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know you've been there sometimes, and
No,
and
never. Yeah.
you've had the pleasure of tasting the food. And that was before I even, stepped foot in the restaurant business. Even though I was brought up in the restaurant business, so I always knew how to cook. I never, I didn't want anything handed down to me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show my father, since he's a hardworking, man, and he really appreciates hard work. So I wanted to do my own thing and show him that I could actually make it on my own.
Yeah.
So
Was
that's
he into
exactly
the
what I
idea all along, Anthony? Was he into it all along, or did he want
Well,
you to do
so
other
after
things?
college, he had went to Italy for about 6 months, and I stepped into the restaurant because someone needed to watch the business.
Okay.
So me and my brothers, I stepped in, and then after that happened, he saw that I actually had a passion for the restaurant business. So he was like, "Anthony, just stop fucking around. Come in the restaurant. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, just come step up in the restaurant."
Mhm.
So I did, and I started out from the bottom. I was a busboy. I was a dishwasher. I was cleaning toilets. I was a line cook, and then finally, from doing that for like 5 to 7 years, I got promoted to executive chef.
Nice. And is your dad who taught you how to cook, I imagine?
Yeah, he taught me. They're all recipes from experience through the years from my father that he's learned, and also through his mother, who passed away when he was very young. But she was always the cook. So in Italy, when his family wasn't wealthy, so every meal wasn't guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So they would go searching in the field for whatever ingredients that they could find. My father at the time, well, he has polio, so he was disabled, so he couldn't really walk, so he couldn't go in the field with all his brothers and sisters. He comes from 10 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So his job was to stay in the house, and whatever ingredients they could find, he would cook with his mother. So it's all about, our restaurant is all about love.
Yeah.
Show our love
sure.
through our food. Still to this day, like, me and my father don't say, "I love you, I love you."
Yeah.
It's like, "Dad, you want to try this new plate of
Yeah,
pasta?"
have a meatball.
Yeah, have a meat. That's
Exactly.
the way we show our love.
Mm-hmm. And I love that picture. If anyone checks out his Instagram or goes to the place, there's that great picture of your dad's family from Italy.
Yeah.
And your dad's 9 years old sitting
He's
there.
actually the baby in his father's arms.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Does your
It's
mom, does she work there too, or she just takes care
So
of the
my
home
mom
front?
handles, she's the hostess. She seats people, and she's the front of the house. It's literally me, my brother Emilio, my brother Mario,
Yeah.
my father and mother. So you'll never not see one of us there.
And it seems like you have the most important position as the chef, huh? We
Well,
won't tell Emilio.
it's not work for me. I love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's long hours.
Yeah.
It's a sweaty kitchen. Sometimes in the summer, it could get up to 120 degrees in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm drenched, sweating. But if you really have a passion for it, it's not work.
I couldn't agree more. And it's funny. You definitely did good when you first started working there because, your dad's an old school Italian. If you weren't good, he wouldn't have let you rise in the ranks.
No. He would have told me to get out of there right away.
He would have kicked you right back to the curb. It's funny you said you didn't want to work in the family, or you didn't plan to work in the family business right away. Neither did I. I just my whole growing up, me and my dad we always had a plan. I would do other stuff, or I was interning and stuff like that. Then I was working here, and then I was doing well in that summer, and I was like, why should I leave and make another guy money? I might as well.
That's exactly what happened
to the
me.
family.
I tried it out for a summer, and I loved it. I couldn't get away.
Yeah. Yeah, you're sitting at another job. I wish I was back at work. And like you said,
Yep.
You'll work late hours. You'll work the holidays in a restaurant or bar business just because you love it.
100%.
With the family business, though, comes some challenges. How do you guys think you manage the family business / family relationship?
It's hard, man. You curse at each other. You scream at each other. A lot of different ideas floating around. Someone thinks they're entitled to this thing. Someone thinks they're entitled to that thing. and you really butt heads. But at the end of the day, it's all love. You make up. I mean, and you just deal with it.
Yeah,
I'd rather fight with my family than fight with a stranger.
exactly.
You know.
And you've made it this far, so I mean, I think everything will be fine in that
Yeah,
department.
we have a pretty good dynamic. You know,
Yeah.
my brother's at the front of the house.
Hmm.
I'm back of the house, and my father is just sitting around, hanging out with his friends, drinking wine.
He's the
working
face of
order,
it.
which is fine.
Yeah,
He earned that.
for sure. Yeah, he did all the legwork now, so or in the
Yep.
past. So now you and the brothers have to keep up the slack.
Exactly.
You know, it's cool too. I found like at my job, it's cool that like when you work with your family, you get to see them every day too.
Yeah.
Like it's nice. Like some people, like they work in the city, they're never home, they never see their family. But when you work with your dad every day, even if you have arguments,
That's funny you say that because sometimes my mom tries to organize like a family meal,
Mhm.
you know, one day a week. And I'm just like, Mom, we see each other every single day. We're literally bonding with each other every single day. We're with each other more than most families, you know?
I was going to say as well, I feel like it's always interesting with chefs. Do you still love cooking when you get home, or has it, you know?
Yeah, I love it. My wife cooks as well.
Yeah.
So I let her handle the cooking when I'm working. I get home at like 10, 11 o'clock. I have dinner ready for me.
nice. But yeah, you still sling it in your own kitchen, right?
Yeah, no, I still love cooking.
Do you have a favorite dish to make, or they're all the same to you? What's
Uh,
the Anthony special?
I like slinging pasta, you know. I
Mhm.
like just making any pasta dish.
Yeah, it's cool the videos you post, like when you guys are cutting it from scratch and everything.
Yeah, you know, fresh pasta is amazing. You know, you have to really. Our business plan is the best ingredients bring out the best product.
Mhm.
So it's simplicity, few ingredients, but you use the best ingredients to create the best product.
Nice.
You really don't have to. In Italian cooking, it's very few ingredients, very simplicity. You know, it's just simple cooking, but it's very hard to execute. You really have to, you know, pick the right ingredients and have the palate to taste, you know, what's good and what's not.
So if we did put some pressure on you, if you have to go dream meal, appetizer, main, dessert, what's chef going for?
Okay, so for an Italian restaurant,
Anything you
Or
want.
anything.
Dream meal, dream restaurant.
ooh, well, I like starting off with fresh mozzarella for sure. You know, that's
Nice.
one of my favorite things, especially when it's freshly made and it's nice and soft, and you cut it and you have some roasted peppers with that. And then I would go with some baked clams,
Nice.
which I love. Um, that's hard.
We put the
I'm
pressure
a
on.
meat guy,
It's
so I
tough
like,
one.
you know, bolognese, like a pappardelle bolognese with some fresh pasta,
Mhm.
and just a meaty, you know, like a steak pizzaiola, or a chicken parm, or a veal parmesan, or even a pork chop with roasted with vinegar peppers.
Nice. Everything.
I have a lot of stuff now. You
It's
make
too
me
hard.
Yeah,
hungry.
that's fine. We'll do it like tapas style.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
A little
about
bit
what
of
I'm gonna cook
everything.
after this. I think I'm gonna go with chicken scarpaiello.
Nice. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know too, check out Anthony's Instagram. Was it Chef Anthony _ Ballatos, New York City?
Ballatos NYC, yeah. Chef Anthony _ Ballatos NYC.
And he'll show you how to make all his recipes now with quarantine. You know, he's teaching
Yeah,
all his
there's
friends
about
and family.
20 or so recipes on there that you guys can try at home.
It's so easy to do and follow him along that even I made good chicken franchise.
I give this step by step. I tell you what ingredients you gotta buy beforehand, and I have videos of just showing you step by step
I
of
like
how
it.
to cook it. You know,
One thing with Ballatos, it seems, besides the outstanding food, it seems to become synonymous with celebrity appearances.
oh yeah, man, that just
Yeah, how'd that start?
you
Or do
bring
you-
good food, people will come. It was a word of mouth thing. Before I even got there, my father didn't have business cards.
Mhm.
So it was the hidden gem where all the celebrities could hide out with good food. My father never knew who they were. So they would just come in as regular people, you know, and they really appreciated that. And they just kept coming back.
Yeah.
And then once it got huge, everyone, you know, all the celebrities would tell other celebrities about it. And it would just be a celebrity hangout now. And
Yeah.
throughout the week, like maybe 4 or 5 celebrities come in throughout the week, every week.
You know, I think the key is that your dad didn't know or didn't care who they were. So they were just able to hang out.
They like being treated like regular people,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Who's some of your favorites?
Let's see.
Or a crazy story about one of them, I mean.
Jimmy Fallon's great.
Yeah. You guys seem pretty tight with them.
Yeah. he came in the kitchen, just hanging out, like real cool dude. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner are actually good friends of
Yeah.
my families. They're great people.
Yeah, I saw Jimmy playing with the watch with your dad and Emilio messing with him.
Yeah.
Has anyone left you starstruck, Anthony, or are you taking leave from your dad's
Well,
book and just
I
playing it
mean,
cool?
for sure. Obama, I cooked for one of the presidents of the United States. That's just
Amazing.
a
What
lot of
happened
people,
there? What was the story that day?
a lot of people can't say they cooked for one of the presidents.
Of
No
course.
matter what people's political views are,
Yeah, it's awesome.
if you get to cook for one of the presidents of the United States, that's just my
And
adrenaline.
what
rush.
does happen with that? Like, were you prepared? Did you know he was coming? Was there like Secret Service over your
So,
shoulder?
Came in 2 hours prior
Okay.
just to scope out the restaurant and check which exits he can get out of.
Okay.
But there was about 12 of them.
That's crazy.
There was 2 of them in the kitchen watching me, making sure I didn't poison the president.
Yeah, yeah.
Watching
think
what I
of
was
that.
putting in his food. And then the rest were at each exit. So yeah, one of our friends actually, Scott.
Yeah, Scott was there.
Sitting in the back room with him.
That's crazy. Scott was saying,
and they said don't seat anyone, in the back room.
Yeah.
Because they wanted him to have like his own privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And we had sat in Scott there, prior to him coming, and I was like, Scott, just be cool.
I don't know if I would trust Scott.
I'm not gonna tell like I'm the president of the United States is coming through, like just chill. And he was cool about it,
Yeah. I think he was sending us all like in a group chat. He's like, I'm at Pilato. You'll never guess who's here. But
Yeah,
that's like
crazy.
every day there, and I think that's why it makes it so popular too. Like it's almost like a tourist attraction. Like if you go to New York City, you got to go there because chances are you're gonna sit next to a celebrity.
Yeah, well now we're in the the One World Trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So when they take you up to the top floor,
Mm-hmm.
we're actually in the video on the One World Trade, and it shows us as the only Italian restaurant to visit. So we get a bunch of tourists coming in now too
Nice.
because of that one video.
Yeah, you guys are always packed. I gotta get down there. I haven't been there in a little while.
Yeah, man, I just can't wait till we could open up again, man.
I know we will soon.
It's
I gotta ask, what's this Lenny Kravitz story?
All right, so
'Cause I
Lenny
seen
has
bits and
been
pieces.
going to Ballato's for probably since we first opened. He's a good friend of my father's, and in the beginning, any restaurant, you struggle a little bit, to make some money. You got to take your hits and losses.
Yeah.
But Lenny liked the restaurant so much that he bought us our first awning
That's awesome.
because we didn't have an awning. So he was like, "You have to have an awning so people could see it from the street."
Yeah.
Emilio, what are you doing? So he literally, out of his own pocket, he bought the Ballato's awning for us.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty. And then his daughter comes in. She still comes in. Ever since she was little, she was coming in, and now she still comes in. Her husband now comes in with her. Jason Momoa, Zoe's mother's husband, comes in.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
I don't think you're a celebrity until you go to Bellato's. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, my father always says, he's like, I'm the real celebrity because they come to see me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's like an old school Italian guy who doesn't care. It's perfect for them.
And when you come in, you'll see him sitting at his corner table,
Yeah.
just staring at you, making sure you're all right to come in.
Yeah, he sized me up when I went there. I'm like, I'm friends with Anthony. That's cool.
Anthony, is there anyone who hasn't been in who you personally would love to have in?
Michael Jordan.
Ooh, that's a good
Nice.
one. Yeah.
Jordan's my favorite.
Shout out, Michael Jordan. Come
Yeah.
on, watch the podcast.
I know,
Go to
Michael
Bellato's.
Jordan. Watch the podcast. Come on in.
You could film The Last Dance in there. Michael Jordan. Wow, that's a good one. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, everyone's been there. Like, you've had Obama, Leonardo DiCaprio, Matthew McConaughey, Billy Joel, everyone.
Yeah.
All right, MJ, make it happen for Anthony here. So, Pilato's is, like, very old school, like, not a lot of technologies. Like, you guys don't have a website, really, per se. You're not on Uber Eats, that type of thing.
Yeah, no, we don't have a website. We
How
don't
do you-
take reservations.
Yeah.
We don't answer the phone.
How do you balance the, I kind of wish Mulcahy's was like that. It'd be a lot easier. No website, no phone, everything. How do you balance, like, the new school ideas and, like, ideas you have as a young man, like, versus, like, the old school, like, your Italian roots? Like,
Well,
do you and your
yeah,
dad go
I mean,
back and forth on stuff?
You have to. Times are changing, man. Everything's on social media, as you know.
Mhm.
You see, man, on social media, business cards. You have to have business cards nowadays. You have to have and Instagram for your business.
Mm-hmm.
It's just times have changed. And I put a different twist on the food.
Yeah.
Like the chicken a la vodka egg rolls.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
those egg
father
rolls look
never,
great.
he doesn't do that stuff. Just different dishes. The carbonara from Rome, cacio e pepe, all that, like all those different regions of Italy, I put on special because, it's just I put a different twist to the restaurant. A lot of people like spaghetti and meatballs, bolognese, chicken parm. When we first started off, we had like 7 items on the menu.
Yeah.
So I expanded a little bit, because I know what the new school wants. I know when I go out to eat, I want to, I don't want a huge menu, but I want, some choices.
Is your dad cool with that? Have you got full reign, or is he still?
No, he's cool with it, but I
Yeah.
always make, because he's a control freak. He's been in, he's been the boss
Mm-hmm.
for the longest time. So I always make sure, I'm like, Dad, try this. What do you think? He's like, oh, all right, go for it.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then I do it. I put it on special. I blow it up on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and then people come in for that dish.
You know what I gotta come in for? You have that. It's like the tower of.
The
What is-
mozzarella
yeah.
carossa.
Oh,
I
that
want
looks
one.
amazing.
I already knew before you asked.
I know.
Dude, you got to make that next. I put the recipe
I
up.
saw that.
I
Is it
don't know
on
if it's
there?
gluten free.
I know. I was trying to be good, but no, I'm gonna cheat for that. I was wondering that today because I was watching it. Like, oh, I gotta try that. You were talking about going out. So where does a premier chef like you like to go out in the city or Long Island?
I go out. I like going out everywhere.
Yeah.
I like trying different foods. I like Mexican. Long Island, I like Rob Key's. I know. I've been
Northport,
telling you to
right?
go there.
Where is that?
Northport. I
Rob
think.
Key's Country Inn.
Yeah, they crush it on Instagram as well.
It's in
so
it's in
good.
Northport.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable. The food there is great. So that's like my go-to Italian. On Long Island. I like 388 too. 388's good.
Yeah,
That's in Roslyn.
I gotta ask you. You're the professional. I like Punsanello there in Massapequa. I don't know if it's like.
Yeah, no, it's
Really?
good in Massapequa.
Yeah.
My father actually went there and he said it was pretty good. So I got to try it. I got to try that.
Nice.
But I usually like going. I don't really go out for Italian
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I
I'm so
know
used to
that.
cooking it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm going to like my buddy spot.
Yeah.
But I like sushi. I like Mexican.
Like it all.
Steakhouses. I like all different cuisines.
Well, so you're obviously like you've been new, but your dad's had it a while. You know what you're doing. Everyone knows that. What advice would you give to someone looking to open a restaurant or a bar or anything? Because we're trying to help people out in this podcast too. So
Yeah, I mean, well, you just have to be willing to put the hours in. You really have to start it from the ground up, and don't get discouraged if you don't make it in the first couple years. And just don't give up. If it's your passion, it's your dream. First 5 years of Ballato's being open, we struggled. We really struggled, and my father never gave up his dream. And look at us 32 years later.
Wow.
It's just, if you really have a passion for good food and you really love cooking, just stick with it. Don't give up.
yeah. Yeah, don't get into the bar and restaurant business for the money,
Yeah, you don't.
Well,
don't.
not right
You
away, at least.
You really have to love it. Don't think you're going to open a restaurant and be rich right away.
Yeah.
You're going to take hits.
And
It's just, you got to keep pushing through. And it's very stressful, so you have to have a level head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like a lot of guys like retire. They have some money. They're like, oh, let's open a place for fun. But like, it doesn't work out well because, like you said, it's stressful. It's busy. It's,
Yeah, it doesn't have, as you know, man, with the bar,
Mm-hmm. All right.
it's not always easy.
We got a couple more for you. I hope you don't mind. I think we're at like
Yeah.
25 minutes. But what do you think you're most proud of at Ballato's? Or most proud moment or anything?
I just think that to be able to do what we do as a family together and show our love through our food to our customers,
Mm-hmm.
and to have people that have been coming to us for 20, 30 years,
Yeah.
that's really something special. Not a lot of people could say that. It's just, when you come to Bellato's, you ask customers that have been coming for years. You're literally treated like family. It's just a different kind of restaurant, different kind of atmosphere. You really don't feel like you're in New York City. You're like in a time travel. It takes you back to the day.
It
My
really
father's
does.
so old school. He doesn't have a cell phone. He doesn't drive a car. He's still there every day, 14 hours a day. It's just a different breed of restaurant. You can't compare Bellato's to any other restaurant.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't even think of that. It is like a time machine.
And Anthony, talking to that like old school, new school, obviously, again, your Instagram, you kill it on there. What was your handle again?
It was Chef Anthony _ Ballatos NYC.
Again, you got to check it out. One thing that kind of crosses over with us here at Mulcahy's is like review culture. You know, like obviously now everyone's got an opinion for all the hordes and hordes of, you know, loyal customers that Balato's has got. You know, there's always those couple of difficult customers. Do you read your reviews? Do you know, or is it just, you can't fuss with that?
It's whatever. It doesn't, everyone's going to, listen, you can't please everybody in the restaurant business, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
If someone has a bad experience and they're bad mouthing us, just don't come back. We don't need people like that. And we're okay with that.
Yeah.
We're okay with that. We're not going to suck up to customers to make them love our restaurant. If it's not the restaurant for you, you can go to Olive Garden down the block.
Cheers to that.
You can go somewhere else. It's not a big deal to us.
Yeah.
You know, even though we treat our customers with respect and love, and the real loyal customers know how we are. So if we have a bad review here and there, it's going to happen. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, screw them.
Life speaks for itself.
Yeah, and you have a line out the door every damn night, so you must be doing something right. Do you have any, like, when all this BS is over, COVID and all that, you have any future plans for Balato's or the whole Balato's name?
Oh man, I can't wait. I have a lot of different ideas for different recipes.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't wait. I cannot wait to cook some. I just can't wait to cook for a full house.
Yeah.
Like I'm cooking for me and my wife, and I just can't wait to have like 30 tickets, 40 tickets, like line up straight, and just get that food out and have my team behind me and just bumping out good food, you know.
We're feeling the same way.
All our regulars, you know, and all our customers.
Yeah,
definitely. Sharing a glass of wine with one of them. And
yeah, we're here sitting in empty Mulcahy's and just feeling the exact same way.
It's sad. It really is.
Yeah, I know. You can't wait to be like busy and slammed and start yelling at each other. And
I know. It's
cutting your hands
great.
again.
I miss that now.
At the same time that we know you've been making the most of it with you've been offering some Zoom cooking classes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so if you're interested in taking any Zoom classes, just email chefanthonynyc@gmail.com and we'll see if we can make it work.
That's a good idea. I hope people take you up on that. If your wife or husband can't cook for anything, email Anthony. He'll set you up.
I will set you up and you'll come out with a fantastic dinner.
It's kind of a gift that keeps on giving. So if anyone's birthday is coming up, buy it for your wife or husband. They learn how to cook, but then you get, you get the fruits of all that labor. So just email you there, and then they'll be able to hire you.
My wife handles that email, so she has my schedule and everything. She handles my life, you know.
Yeah.
Got a woman behind me.
Shout out to your wife too, newly married. When was that again?
Yeah,
this summer.
10 months.
What is it?
Yeah, married 10 months now.
10 months.
Congrats. You've timed it just right.
Yeah. Me and Anthony were this big when we met. Now he's married, running a business.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't believe it. Well, Anthony, thanks for coming in today. I thought that was great.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
I was getting hungry just talking to you. And I can't wait. I was dying to go to Balato's for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to this, but now.
I know. We were supposed to do an event in Mulcahy's too, and that got.
Yeah. We will do something. We'll do a little Mulcahy's, Balato's combination. Obviously, Anthony's cooking. I'll bring the wine and the beer, but we'll do something good. Thanks again, Anthony. It was great talking to you. I think we learned a lot.
It was awesome.
We can't wait to be there.
Thank you so much. Great talking.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye, Ant.
Later, man.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Employees Only. If you like what you hear, check us out on Instagram. It's at Mulcahy's Pub, MULCAHYS Pub, PUB for Bob. Anyway, everyone spells it wrong. Just Google. You all know how to Google. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Apple Podcasts. Find us on YouTube. Find us anywhere, really. If you can't find us, I don't know what you're doing.